Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to All Beer Inside quarantine editions of the episode. Joining us this week, we have Mark, also known as Tour de Beers on Instagram.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for taking your time out of your schedule to speak with us today. We've been trying to speak with everybody, as many people as we can on Instagram, because it's all about that Zoom life right now. So as we try to every episode, we're going to share a virtual beer. Let my audience know what you're drinking.
Tonight I'm having Henderson's Winter Spice Blonde. It's also part of the Travel Pints crate that she did a collaboration with Steam Whistle.
Oh, cool.
Beer. I've never had this one before, so I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not far from. I'm in Montreal, so I'm only an hour from an LCBO, so I was able to get some Jelly King. The raspberry blackberry dry hop sour ale. Looking forward to it, as I'm a fan of their beers. And as we do virtually, let's do a toast. A toast. Let's see if I can get this today. Nope.
Cheers.
Oh, their sour series is so great.
I just had their the strawberry rhubarb recently.
Yeah, I think this just came. Well, it just came to the LCBO in Hawkesbury, so I got lucky. It was still in a box, and I look at the beer guy, and he's like, "Just grab one." So awesome. So what's the beer story? What brought you beer Instagramming?
I remember doing reviews back in the day with like normal beers and stuff like that. And I just kind of stopped doing it.
Okay.
And since quarantine came into effect, I was just getting bored and stuff like that. And my fiance was like, "You should review beers because, you know, you've had so many of them and I've had Untappd going on for a while. So it's like, yeah, something to do." And come across Drunk Brews Instagram page and a bunch of other ones. And just started from there. Probably about a year been going, and I've gotten 1,000 followers, so which is more than what I ever expected.
Yeah, no, I find it great. I find it like it is like, you know, a worldwide community, but it's very tight knit at the same time when it comes to the craft beer drinkers. So it's very cool. And meeting people like yourself and getting to learn about beers in your areas and stuff. I always enjoy hearing your stories. And like you said, you used to kind of blog or just kind of write about it, or what did you do prior to Instagram?
I was originally doing them on Facebook.
Okay.
And doing like a small little tidbit of the review and what I tasted and stuff like that. Nothing like what I do for Instagram anyway. It's just like, you know, jot down type deal.
Yeah.
With a rating of 5, which I still do. So.
Yeah, no, it's very. I mean, your Instagram is something else. Like your write-ups are very vivid to the mind. Like I can picture my palate tasting those notes that you're writing up. So I do find your in-depthness is very, very straightforward. It's almost like you're making a mini blog, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Is like not very good with, you know, like cameras and stuff like that. This is technically my first interview, so I was like, and eventually want to do the video part too. So
yeah, it all comes to fruition. Our show honestly started as 4 guys getting together, trying beer on a weekly basis, just being jerks to each other as guys are. And November of 2019 pulled the trigger on interviewing people in the brewery industry. And then the pandemic decided, hey, you're going to stay home and meet everybody you were going to eventually meet, but on Instagram right now. So, and just following accounts like yourselves, learning about beers in the area, I find it's great. You mentioned Untappd. Have you been on Untappd a while?
I started it January of last year, of the 20th. So I started January 1st and started going on since then. So
fantastic. Do you remember how you discovered craft beer?
First place I visited was Brewery, probably around the first time they opened on their Hopkins location, and then kind of grew from there. I started, and then Five Paddles was shortly after that, and I fell more in love with them than Brock Street because I found Brock Street was mediocre, and I'm not afraid to say,
yeah, no,
probably worst people out there right now for
yeah,
and this area anyway. So
That's unfortunate to hear. But yeah, if you let your quality slip, then people are gonna go to newer, bigger, and better at some point, right? So
Exactly.
yeah.
It's been a while since I've had something by them. Mm, last thing I had was probably the strawberry blonde, and it was decent.
Yeah, I can honestly, I've never been there. I've grabbed their beers at the LCBOs because you're like, I will give one thing, Ontario LCBOs, they got a hell of a selection of beer for some of them, especially
Yeah.
the one I live within. An hour for me, an hour to go get beers makes sense to me if it's hop, skip, and a jump away. That or Ottawa, thankfully for myself. So it's like, oh, the LCBOs, and there's a distribution center in Ottawa for Eastern Ontario, so I just go there and the selection is like I could easily spend 3 paychecks in one day. So
Wow.
yeah, it's bad. It's bad sometimes. Then it's like, oh, I got beer for 2-3 months, so I'm good.
Yeah. Since pandemic, I've been stocking up, so
Yeah.
it's been pretty bad myself. So
Yeah, no, 100% for sure. So your year's name, Tour de Beers. Where did that come from? Why'd you just because Tour de Beers, like people are thinking maybe Tour de France, but where's that kind of come from?
actually, it was from that same quote. Friends of mine from back in the day, I'd always show up to their house for poker games, and I'd have like the 8-pack you get at the beer store, which we have here,
Mhm.
and I'd always show up with 8 different beers all the time. Was never like the solid guy just bringing my 12-pack of Canadian or whatever it was. I just want variety or whatever.
Very, very interesting. And it's very simple, like Tour de Beers, it's I'm touring, I'm going around and tasting a variety of beers. So
Yeah, the name caught on, and I've stuck with it, and since then, so
very
people
cool.
remember.
Well, I do notice it's kind of like your inspiration. I do notice you use a lot of the same brewery in a row in your photos. Like you've used a lot of Cowbell in your last 5 or 6 photos. You used Rorschach a few in a row. What kind of made you decide to like more or less focus on that?
I actually started falling behind on reviews, so I just started jumbling them up into photo that way, and this way, if I got to it, I just have a whole bunch of them in the same brewery.
Oh, it's great. And you're kind of using the same Untappd system of out of 5. What made you decide to stick with that and maybe not do your own rating system or go to 10 or anything like that?
I just thought 10 was too much, and so I thought 5 was kind of like average for me, anyways. And most people were using the 5 as well. I didn't see too many 10s, so I was like, oh, simpler system, I think, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it. Like when I'm doing a beer tasting when we're doing the beer tasting, in the before times when I used to be able to get together with friends and we would record a beer tasting and we would do the same thing where it was Untappd and I would transport my Untappd score to my Instagram. So
Yeah.
it's simplicity and there's no need to complicate your life, especially when it comes to beer where the flavors are already complex enough and you are writing like, here's my tasting notes, here's what I'm getting. Why complicate things? So
Yeah. I just always used the 5, so I was like, Untappd was just the backbone pretty much for that.
So the history with I'm looking at GTA loving heavy metal music and barbecue.
Yes.
Okay. Do you find there's a craft beer culture in heavy metal?
It's growing. I find it more popular in Montreal because I'm part of the Vox and Hops group, and talk to Matt once in a while, and he talks about how the craft brewery metal scene is much bigger out your way than is our way.
Yeah, it seems to be. There's Microbrasserie Le Fermenteur, and lead singer and a guitarist from a band out there are the owners of the brewery.
Okay.
Yeah, there's another guy who's a metalhead who started a brewery. There's another music artist who started a brewery. It's like, okay. In Toronto, it's just like, I like beer, I'm starting a brewery. So
yeah, pretty much it is.
But the expanse in the GTA and Ottawa and stuff, I mean, you guys are opening breweries during the pandemic left and right.
Yeah, there's one opening in Durham this summer sometime. I can't remember the name of it, which I'm totally surprised about. So, but good for them. It's like hopefully it works for them.
Well, look, you have Third Moon out in Milton.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, they're booming like crazy.
Yeah. Luckily, when the numbers were lower and places were open as a show, we were lucky enough to speak with them. So it's, it was amazing to finally get to try their beer. And the rage of jealousy I have to not be able to get their beer on a regular basis is a little frustrating for me. So
yeah, I've only had it twice myself. I made one big order, and then I had a friend, Oshawa beer guy. He made a trip out there, picked up a bunch for me as well, and I just love their stuff.
Very cool, awesome. When you're taking your picture, are you looking for something specific, or it's just kind of at the moment of where the picture is to take?
Lately, I've been adding backgrounds to it, but before that, I was just taking pictures, and most of them are like the ugly orange wall I have in my bedroom. So it's like hard to see the colors of the beer sometimes. So, but since I've gone to like a kind of a backdrop, it's gotten a little bit better, and I could actually see the colors again. So sometimes I forget what colors I have there. So I may have to take a look. And
yeah, I mean, especially a hazy IPA is just going to blend into the background of your wall. So
yes, most of them are orange anyway. So like or mango color or whatever you want to call it.
I did notice in a few of your photos the beer did image. Is that like a friend with glassware? Is that one of your own creations? What the beer did with the beard is the hop?
A buddy of mine got that for me for Christmas like 4 years ago, and I finally dug out of a box one day and started using it. I've gotten so many compliments about it. And
yeah, no, it's very cool glass, and it is like, I hate to say it, but it's your typical beer guy, you know, the hipster haircut and the beard. So
yeah, I've had so many people asking where I got it from, and I was like, Green Earth. Hopefully, you can still find it open somewhere. It even had like a bottle opener with it too. Doesn't have the beer guy on it, but
yeah,
like
okay, very cool. I like those wallet beer openers. It's always nice to have handy. I have your classic beverage key I got. Oh my God. Like 20 years ago at some Smirnoff Ice event, they were giving away like you twist off, but you can also pop off.
Okay.
The beverage key. And it's like, that thing's been in my wallet 20 years, or not wallet, but with my keys the last 20 years. It's, you know, when things were made to last. So,
exactly. The plastic or whatever they were.
Yeah, exactly. So you've had your Instagram going for about a year now. Have you collabed, or do you plan on doing a collab with a brewery to kind of grow your brand at the same time?
I haven't done a collab yet, but I'd like to one day, hopefully. You know, all or nothing. I go to them all the time, and 5 paddles, you know, wink, wink, guys.
Well, if I ever have a chance to interview them, I'll have to shoot a name out to them. So 5 paddles is definitely on my list. I love their concept and their skull glassware. I'm jealous I can't get one of those. So
send me your address and I'll try to get one for you.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I'll definitely keep you in the loop for that. Do you homebrew at all?
I don't.
No.
I have no basement as it is, and always wanted to, but maybe one day when I have my home place type deal. I'd like to try it actually just once, just to see what I could come up with. Be kind of neat to know.
Yeah. Me, it's the cleaning. I know I'd miss something, or I wouldn't clean it properly enough, and then bad beer would come out. So that's what I'm always worried about.
Yeah.
So behind you got a decent size of pop figures.
Yes.
Still in box, which a lot more people do than not do. Do you see yourself kind of combining your beer and pops, like a couple of Instagram accounts, or there's enough of those already? I'll stick to what I have.
I have a couple that I'm probably going to use. I have actually a glass coming that's from Beer Throne.
Mm-hmm.
The Infinity Gauntlet. You pour the glass or your lager or pilsner into it, turns into the color of the gauntlet. And then you got the gems and everything. So I have my Thanos ready for that picture.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So many friends have said like they should have just ended it in Infinity War with Thanos winning and no more Marvel. I'm like, yeah, it's $1 billion, so no.
Yeah. Or just started Phase 4, then they could have gradually built into Endgame.
Yeah, I finally have the last part of Phase 3 coming in from Shopville, I think it's called. So I finally got the last few Blu-rays coming. So when Black Widow finally gets to get released, it'll be sit down, watch Phase 4, Phase 3.2 or 3.5 as they call it, and check out Black Widow. So, but I believe everything will reopen in time. I don't know about you. I'm very faithful in our medical system, so hopefully soon. Yeah, awesome. So when it's more or less safe to go out and have a few beers again, you got some friends, or let's say myself, I come out to your area. What are like the top 5 places that are must hit for me?
Definitely Horror Nothing because it's Oshawa local to me. It's not too far from me. 5 Paddles for sure. Chronicle in Bowmanville. Really want to go farther west, you can go to Common Goods in Scarborough, Toronto area. And you can try Sir Monty's, which is a little smaller brewery.
Okay.
And Curtis.
I haven't heard of Sir Monty's or Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis. It's probably about maybe 10-minute drive from my place. Anyways, it used to have like a barbecue place upstairs. Now that's gone, but somehow the brewery's still alive down there. It's not very popular right now because they always have like music nights, Friday nights and stuff like that. So I'm glad they're still going.
So I've been adding this caveat because I have to now. When it's safe to travel again, when you don't have to come home and sit in quarantine for 3 days or get COVID tests, when we're all healthy enough to travel again, what's a couple of beercations you want to go on? And one thing is one where money is very much a factor, and then another one where money is no factor whatsoever. You have like unlimited spending. What are those 2 vacations? Beercations.
One will definitely be going back to Colombia. My fiance is from there, and I got a chance to go down there 3 years ago and visit the Bogota Beer Company. Took the tour and everything, and it's all in Spanish. I didn't understand too much of it, but she was my fiance was trying to give me the rundown of stuff, but she doesn't really know much about beer either. But it was so interesting, and I definitely want to go back to that. That'd be the type of place where, doesn't matter what money is or whatever it is, and just love the place. The beers are amazing too. So
very cool. Yeah,
different style to North America beer too. So more crisper and stuff like that, and use different hops and yeast and stuff like that.
Very cool. I'm assuming more kind of rice and corn based ones than.
Yes.
Okay.
And use a lot of coffee too. Coffee beans in their stuff.
Very cool.
The other one would be probably Czech Republic. Definitely want to check out the craft breweries, like the Monk ones type deal. The Stravo Monastery Brewery in Prague.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely want to go to that one.
Yeah, I'd love to go to personally like Belgium and drink with some monks. I think that would always be awesome. So
yeah.
Where do you see going next with the Tour de Beers Instagram? What's kind of next for you?
I'd like to start doing more like live stuff. My cousin and my buddy and I did a live stream last week called Beers, Chips, Tools, WTF.
Okay.
Just we reviewed beers, bag of chips, and the tool guy demonstrated tool. And it was just something we've been wanting to do for a while, and decided just to do it together. So like a half an hour type deal, nothing too long.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. The quicker somebody can consume something now, I find on Instagram or anything like that, most people have the mind of goldfish now where they can't get off this thing for more than a half hour. So like with the lives, obviously you're going to get your name out there some more, but is there anything else you kind of have planned for that, or you're just going to start with the lives and go from there?
mostly start with the lives and go from there. I do have some merch in the work, but nothing like fancy, just like beer cozies or something like that. Just to throw out the people. If I go to breweries or something like that.
Yeah, keep it nice and simple. Sometimes simplicity is the key. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So
very cool.
Nothing too expensive, but don't want to spend too much money because nobody has money anymore. So.
Yeah, I mean, with all the print on demand companies now too, you just set up your online store. You don't even have to have merch; they already do it for you and then ship it out. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. So.
Awesome. Well, I got no other questions for you. For sure, 100%. When I can make it down to Toronto, or we're gonna have to grab a beer together with a few of you. You, Oshawa Beer Guy, Brew Review Phil, and some other folks. We just all grab a beer together. It'd be great.
Yeah.
So I got no other questions for you. So let my audience know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Untappd at Tour de Beers Official. And just keep watching for me on Instagram for my live feeds with my buddy and I, and you'll see me around. I'm always posting.
Awesome. Yeah, that's it. You just keep posting and you'll keep growing slowly. I'm sure it like skyrocketed and then leveled out and then skyrocketed again. So that seems to be the way it is. It's the same thing with our show. We went from like 5 views on an episode to 700 all of a sudden. We're like, where'd that come from? So
that's good though.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. So.
Yeah. And this, I love meeting people in the beer industry, Instagrammers, brewers, home brewers. So if you know anybody who would love to do the show, we'll talk after and we'll set things up.
Okay, for sure.
Okay, awesome. As for us, allbeerinside.com is the website. We're having some problems with it right now. It should be back up and running. At some point, the store is on the way. Same thing, t-shirts, mugs, koozies, stuff like that, with our logo and some other logos we've worked on. As for Instagram and all other social media, it's at All Beer Inside. Myself is at Killer Carpe Diem. And as I say at the end of all episodes, drink craft, not crap.